What's going on, guys? Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I hope you're having an awesome day today. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Today, we're going to be reacting to Canterbury Cathedral. I actually reacted to the city of Canterbury maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and this city is awesome. The city is so unique, it's so beautiful, it's full of history. Definitely a place I look forward to visiting when I actually get over to the UK. But unfortunately, in that video, they didn't actually cover Canterbury Cathedral. And the reason for that is that during the time they were filming that video, the cathedral was actually closed. I don't remember if it was closed for renovations or something else, but that's the reason why they couldn't cover Canterbury Cathedral in that previous video that I watched about the city of Canterbury. So anyways, I've been looking forward to checking out Canterbury Cathedral since I've done that video. A lot of people in the comment section of that video and other videos have continuously recommended that I check out Canterbury Cathedral. You know, from what I understand, this is definitely one of the oldest churches in Britain. And a lot of people say it's the most beautiful, or it's one of the most beautiful at least. And I think this is only the second church I've actually checked out since I started this channel. Obviously, I've learned about Westminster Abbey, and I think that's the only other church I've actually explored throughout the UK or Ireland. You know, I've definitely got to explore some Irish churches at some point as well. I love these types of buildings. I love the old architecture. And since I started this journey, I've just learned that I enjoy architecture even more than I thought I did before I started this journey. So anyways, guys, not sure what to expect here, but I'm super excited about diving in and learning about Canterbury Cathedral. And we're not just going to get a tour in history of Canterbury Cathedral, but this title also says we're going to see the actual oldest church in Britain as well. I think that's what that's saying. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm guessing. So this should be very interesting. We're going to get a 2-for-1 tour here, it looks like. So anyways, guys, like I said, I don't know what to expect here, but I'm looking forward to it. Let's just go ahead and dive in and check out Canterbury Cathedral.
Good morning. We're at Burgate. We're back in Canterbury.
What is Burgate?
And this time we're going to see the cathedral that we missed on the last trip. So if you didn't see the last video with all of the different attractions that we've already covered, all the lovely old buildings, then maybe go and watch that first and then come back and join us for our tour of the cathedral. And at the very end, something very special, we're going to St Martin's Church. We didn't see that last time either, so enjoy.
Wow.
Canterbury Cathedral is in the heart of the walled
Look how amazing this place is. It's really hard to believe that something like this could have been built in modern times, let alone centuries ago, you know. It's just hard to believe. Every time I see a structure like this, I just cannot fathom how human hands built something like this and then it's still standing today. You know, the first thing that I notice when I look at this place from above is that it's actually walled off with the buildings or houses themselves. And there's obviously like a gate here, and maybe that's what he meant by Burgate or whatever he was saying there. Maybe that's what he was saying. He was at some gate location, but this place is just amazing. I can already tell just by seeing it from above like this.
city, accessed via the visitor centre on Butter Market to the right of Christchurch Gate, shrouded in scaffolding during our visit. Your ticket will give you access to the cathedral
£14
and the
for adults,
precinct,
free for under
the grounds
17.
around this cathedral.
That's okay. That's pretty decent.
We spoke of St Augustine in the last video. In 597 AD, he arrived in Kent from Rome, having been sent by Pope Gregory I, tasked with converting pagan Britain to Christianity. Having swayed the local king Ethelbert, Augustine and his monks were given land outside the city walls to set up an abbey and also a church, St Martin's, now the oldest church in England still in use.
To set up an abbey and a church. I thought abbey meant church. What is the difference between an abbey and a church? I guess the abbey may be larger. Does abbey basically mean a large church? Because obviously I know, for example, Westminster Abbey is basically a large church, and Yeah, anyway, let's continue. What's that say? Oh, that's 1900. Okay. Wonder how old the graves are here. This is a cemetery I would absolutely love to visit. You know, I love cemeteries, and this one looks very, very interesting. Like a lot of really cool tombstones here, and it's probably got quite a bit of history in this place, I'm guessing.
Use. We'll see more of this later. Augustine became the first archbishop and established his seat within the city walls, building a...
So I wanted to ask real quick, I don't want to pause too much, but this is just really interesting to me. Last time it was closed for some reason, and now it's got all this scaffolding up here. You know, does anybody know what they're doing here? It looks like right here, this looks cleaner than it does over here. Is that what they're doing? They're literally cleaning it, or are they actually doing some other renovations or something? You know, I know obviously they have to do major upkeep on a building like this in order to keep it standing for so long. So I'm sure every once in a while they have to close things down just to kind of, you know, fix some things and whatnot.
A cathedral. The current cathedral was built between 1070 and 1077 by the Normans following a major fire.
Wow. What is that? 1070, 1077 after a major fire. So that's, oh my goodness, man. That is literally like, wow, over 1,000, well, about 1,000 years old. Yeah. Wait, yeah. Wow.
Much larger and grander than before, Augustine's original foundations were found and lie under the nave.
I love...
Let's enter the cathedral and start.
I love the detail,
in
man.
The nave.
Look at that ceiling. The nave. So this is considered the nave. Wow.
The nave is over 600 years old, designed by Henry Evely. The vault is 26.5 metres, 82 feet high. At the west end is a huge window, slightly obscured today.
Wow. This place is beautiful, man. We just got in here, and I'm already amazed at the artwork and just the detail, man. I keep on saying this. Every time I see an old building like this, I've probably said this on this channel. It's just amazing to me how human hands built this stuff. I just cannot fathom how it's possible, because I don't have the skill to do what these artists, because that's really what they were. You know, people who built these churches, man, they weren't just like construction workers. No, they were artists, man. I mean, and obviously like the glasswork and stuff is just, wow.
Filled with stained glass, much of which is over 800 years old.
Wow.
On the north side of the nave is a beautiful 17th century marble font that not long after completion was broken up during the English Civil War. William Somner collected all the pieces, held on to them, and when the crown was restored, so was the wonderful font.
Wow. They did a good job fixing it.
Much of the nave ceiling is covered presently for the finishing touches of restoration to be revealed later in 2022. Climbing the worn and shiny stone steps, we reach the Pulpitum crossing. In front of us is a stone screen with intricately carved royal statues. Before the Civil War, this would have been the site of the 12 apostles, but they were destroyed.
Oh, man. Why? Why do humans do that, man? So disappointing when we destroy such beauty, you know, as what I'm sure the 12 apostle, was it statues? But man, anyway, this place is amazing. Look at the detail. Look at, I mean, everywhere you look is just amazing detail.
Look straight up inside the Bell Harry Tower and the wonderful detail here. This tower was one of the last major additions to the cathedral in the late 1400s. Seen here from outside, it's actually made from nearly 500,000 bricks and only faced with stone.
Oh, wow. Dude, it's just, I don't even know what to say. It's just so beautiful. It's amazing.
The Archbishop Thomas Becket was famously and brutally murdered by knights of King Henry II in 1170. Heading to the martyrdom, a modern altar and sculpture marks the spot where the savage killing occurred. Opposite the memorial is the door from the cloisters where the knights entered the cathedral. The Pope made Becket a saint within 3 years, and miracles are said to have occurred here.
Wow, man.
Canterbury became one of the great pilgrimage centres of medieval Europe and shaped the city and the cathedral for centuries to come. Heading to the crypt, the oldest remaining part of the cathedral, Romanesque in style, it was here Becket's body was taken, laid to rest the next day. A recent sculpture by Anthony Gormley, made from iron nails from the roof, outlines a floating body above the site of St. Thomas's first tomb.
Wow. Everywhere you go, it's just something unique.
The choir is over 800 years old, rebuilt in 1174 following a terrible fire, and was the first building in Britain to have a Gothic style. Its French architect William of Sens fell from scaffolding when inspecting the blue central roof boss. The building work was finished by his young assistant, who was known as William the Englishman. The choir stalls are dark wood from the Victorian period.
Wow. If I can only imagine the feeling of awe you would experience walking into this place. It brings a little bit of moisture to my eyes, we'll say. It's so beautiful and it's just powerful. I can't even explain it. I love old architecture like this, and it's.
In the distance is the high altar leading to Trinity Chapel. Notice the Archbishop's chair, known as St. Augustine's chair. Trinity Chapel was badly damaged in the fire and rebuilt larger and wider to accommodate the pilgrims travelling to the shrine of St. Thomas of Canterbury, as he was also known in the Middle Ages. In 1220, his shrine was moved from the crypt directly below here into Trinity Chapel, with the ever-burning candle marking the spot. The shrine would have been marble. Upon it, the golden casket in which Becket's...
The candle burns for the shrine. So when they say the ever-burning candle, do they literally mean that? Like they never allow the candle to go out? They basically replace this candle with another one and light it from this candle? That's wild if that's the case.
Remains had been moved to. Pilgrims described it as one of the most richly decorated and bejeweled shrines in all of Europe. Above it, a wooden box which was lowered and locked when the shrine was not in use to prevent thefts. Nothing remains today as Henry VIII declared Becket a traitor to his king, having the jewelled shrine removed and Becket's bones burnt. A large ruby was kept by Henry, worn on a thumb ring. Other notable burials in the chapel include Edward of Woodstock, the Black Prince as he was known, and the only king buried here, Henry VII, and his wife, Joan of Navarre. You can step up to look over their tomb. The Corona Chapel was a sacred part of the cathedral almost...
Look at that! My goodness! The detail of that stained glass is insane. I would love to meet the people. Obviously, I think most of this stained glass, like you said, is like up to 800 years old or something like that. But I would love to meet people who actually create stuff like this. I mean, I would just like to see how they do it because it's just remarkable. I can't imagine how you have that much artistic skill to be able to do this. I just can't even imagine the ability to do that.
Circular, known now as the Chapel of Saints and Martyrs of our time. From outside, Becket's Crown, as it was named, was an 18th century addition.
I like that.
Pilgrims would come here from 1220 to pray at the shrine of Becket's Crown, a fragment of his skull preserved following his murder. The cathedral has other treasure on display from goblets and chalices, but the star find was in 1938 when an excavation of the Great Cloisters unearthed a 10th century personal sundial, probably used by a monk.
Wow, it's so detailed everywhere. It's just so unique. Wow.
Now let's take a look around some of the precinct, the grounds around the cathedral. They are part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Many visitors seem to miss exploring these parts of the cathedral and are well worth a stroll, and they have stories to tell. The Canterbury Warhorse reminds us of the 8 million horses that died in the First World War, representing conflict and loss of human and animal life.
Yeah, it looks like really beautiful grounds. This whole place looks like a great place to spend a day just exploring.
Passing through what's called the Dark Entry, we arrive at Green Court, in the vicinity of the King's School. Head over to the north corner and the Norman Staircase. Built in 1100 by the Normans, it's the oldest structure in the precinct. The staircase was part of the Poor Pilgrims' Hall that served as a shelter for pilgrims. Today it's part of the King's School. Heading back towards the cathedral, on our way to the Great Cloisters, we notice a water tower. Dating back to the 12th century, Prior Wilbert wanted to bring fresh water into the priory buildings. Using lead pipes and a sophisticated system, they did just that from a well near the cathedral.
In the 12th century, man, it's just amazing. I know they were, plumbing was invented long before that, but it just amazes me that what everybody was up to so long ago, like how they were able to build things like this so many centuries ago. It boggles my mind. I just cannot imagine, being able to do this type of stuff without modern technology. Even today, building some of these structures seem like they would be very hard to build. And I know I keep on saying that, but it just really boggles my mind. It just really does.
Allowing the monks to regularly bathe.
Wow, look at this window. Dude, oh my goodness, man. This place is so cool, man. I don't know, was that a house? I know it's kind of surrounded by houses. Man, this would be like, some of these houses would be really a great place to live. Can you imagine just having this in your backyard? That'd be so cool, dude.
The great cloisters linked up many areas of the monastery. Spend time looking up at the carvings and shields that cover all areas of the ceiling.
Man. It's just everywhere you look, it's just so detailed.
The door off the cloisters leads you to the largest chapter house in England. It's a separate building. It would have been used by the monks to assemble daily to discuss day-to-day activities and read.
What is a chapter house? He's saying it was used by monks to discuss day-to-day activities? Never heard of that term, chapter house.
A chapter from their Benedictine rule.
Oh, okay. Man, again, the glasswork is just insane.
So I think once they remove all the scaffolding, the cathedral is going to be absolutely amazing again. Really done a good job. It's taken a long time to get it back to such a good order as it will be later this year. We're now heading to St Martin's Church, so we'll do that and see the oldest church in England.
Wow.
It's about a 15-minute walk out of the city walls to the church.
I wanted to see that real quick. Hold on, guys. Let's see. So there's the cathedral. There's where he's headed, St Martin's Church. Outside the walls. Okay, so trying to see. So this must be the wall right along here, I'm guessing. I don't know. Oh, wait. Okay, now I can kind of see an actual wall right here. I couldn't see that before. I only saw the houses. But yeah, it does look like there's like literally an actual wall. I have to check that out because I really haven't got a good view of that. Although I think I remember him talking about that the last when I reacted to the city of Canterbury.
Walk out of the city walls to the church. You will be passing the St Augustine Abbey on your way, and you can poke your head in the entrance and have a quick look without paying. Of course, you can visit as well. Head up North Holmes Road and the church will be in front of you.
Oh man.
The sign says that in fact the church is the oldest in the English-speaking world, as well as the oldest parish church still in Canterbury.
Hold on. Just in case he doesn't say exactly how old it is. I think he said it earlier. Let's see. It was originally built in Roman times in 597. I think he said that earlier. First base for... Is that when this church was built, or was this one burnt down as well? I can't tell. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you know. Is the church we're actually looking at here actually built in 597? I mean, that's what it says here, originally built. So I'm not sure. I'm going to go with it. I guess, unless I hear different, I'm going to think this church was built in 597. That's insane, dude. Wow. I mean, more than 1,400 years. Did you see that? I love this right here, by the way. Where's it at? I love these old walls, man. I don't know what it is about old walls, like, especially if they're around cemeteries or something like that. I just find them so interesting. I don't know why, it's just kind of weird that I find walls so interesting, but I do.
The sign says that in fact the church is the oldest in the English-speaking world, as well as the oldest parish church still in continuous use in England. First built in the Roman times in 597 AD when Augustine arrived, it was the private chapel of Christian Queen Bertha of Kent. St Augustine and his companions worshipped at the church until King Ethelbert granted him the land for the world-famous abbey and cathedral.
That's crazy. I wish you could go inside. What a peaceful cemetery. Place is beautiful, man. Guys, first off, this was an amazing tour. I think they did an excellent job with this tour. But when I reacted to Canterbury, the city of Canterbury, it was a few months back, and I was like, wow, I've definitely got to visit this place. But I must say, I'm now super excited to visit this place because I have got to visit Canterbury Cathedral. I'd also obviously visit this, what was St. Paul? Man, I forgot the name of the church now. I had to go back and look. But this church right here, but especially for the cemetery. I think this would be a very fascinating cemetery to explore. I've done a few cemetery reactions on this channel. I absolutely love cemeteries. They're just very interesting and peaceful to me. I've always enjoyed exploring them. And I think I would have a great time exploring some of the old cemeteries in the UK and Ireland, because you guys are going to have some cemeteries that date back much, much longer than the cemeteries I'm used to. But that's not what this video is about, man. But guys, Canterbury Cathedral, it may... I don't know. It would be hard for me to say this for sure, but it may be the most beautiful structure I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, just wow. I mean, literally everywhere you look in this place. Now, don't get me wrong, Westminster Abbey, I guess I'd have to go back and look again. I mean, because they're both extremely beautiful. And they both have crazy amounts of history, and they're both unique, and they both just have crazy amounts of detail. Everything about both these churches are just amazing. But yeah, it would be really hard for me to say which one I like better. They're just both amazing. But looking at this place, it's just my mind is blown. I mean, look at the detail work. How in the world do human hands do something like this? I mean, like, this to me, if I didn't know better, I would be like, they had to have 3D printers that they came in and 3D printed these large structures, because it doesn't make sense to me how someone is so talented that they could create things like this. It boggles the mind. I know some talented people, but I don't know anyone that could literally create something like this. Do you know how rare it would be to have the talent to create this? And yet so many people seem to have had the ability to do these things so many centuries ago. It just boggles my mind. I know I keep on repeating myself because it's just insane to me that it was possible for people to build these structures so long ago. I can't understand it, and I mean, to me, I think one of the reasons, I think anyone sees structures like these, buildings like these, stained glass like this, they're going to be in awe. They're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. I would think you would be. I can't imagine you just not really seeing how impressive this is. But, I think something else, the reason it's so awe-inspiring to me is because we don't get places like this in the U.S. Don't get me wrong. The U.S. has some really cool buildings, and you can go and see some really nice churches. There's some nice churches in the town I'm in. I've been to a couple of them, check out, the stained glass and stuff like that, and they're really, really beautiful. But they're modern, and they just cannot compete with what you have with structures like this. They just cannot compete with this, the history and just how detail oriented these places are. I don't even know what to say, guys. I mean, I cannot wait to explore this place. I'm 100%. I have got to, when I come to the UK, I obviously am not going to be able to explore every city or even close to, all around the UK. I'm literally probably going to have to stay in kind of a quarter of the UK or something like that, because there's so much to explore. But I think I have to make Canterbury a place that I visit during that first time I visit the UK. I have to. This place is amazing. I thought it was amazing the last time I checked this place out, because all the other just regular buildings in town are so unique, and some of them are even like quirky and things like that. And just, I love the way the, what do you call how the water goes through? It's not like a river, is it? I don't know, but I love the way the town is kind of built in that way, if you understand what I'm saying. But seeing the cathedral here, absolutely, I absolutely must visit this place, my first trip. I have to. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.